Today we're watching Evilspeak, a fantastic 1981 horror film with cool effects, plenty of camp, and starring everybody's favorite B-movie legend, Clint Howard. We open on a spooky quote, then straight to the title card, and some Templars doing Templar stuff, like banishing this guy, Lorenzo Esteban. Or wait, is that bull from Night Court? Either way, he isn't too keen on that. So he starts his own crew, complete with groupies, cool sword poses, and... oh shit, cut to a modern day soccer game. Little babyface Clint, or Stanley Cooper Smith in this movie, isn't doing too hot, and his teammates hate him for it.
Nice game, Cooper Dick.
This guy seems cool though. Later in the locker rooms, the torment continues, led by our main bully Bubba, with even the coach getting in on the nefarious evil plotting.
However, something happened to Cooper Smith, so he couldn't play.
We soon learn that this is a private Catholic military academy, and it's full of snooty assholes like this, and they all consider poor Cooper Smith here a charity case, far below their standards of the usual rich kids that attend. Anyway, while looking for the school's resident reverend, Cooper Smith stumbles into the church dungeon, where he's tasked to clean up. As he does this, we learn from the reverend that the school's religious organization was founded by the evil Templar wizard guy Esteban from the start of the movie. They're oddly open about this.
That before being executed, Esteban vowed to return and extract his revenge.
Seems like you'd want to keep that a secret, but maybe that's just me. Meanwhile, Cooper Smith snoops around and sees all kinds of spooky dungeon stuff, like this fetus in a jar, and some cool old ancient tomes. He takes one, and for some reason starts lighting candles and pacing around, just kinda hanging out. Before long, the baby from the jar comes to life, and a wall arm grabs him. And then the spooky wizard dude and, oh cool, it was just a dream. Or was it? Cooper Smith races to class where he's naturally singled out and ridiculed by the teacher immediately. He finds solace, though, in this newly attained evil tome, which he later starts translating on his computer. After a trip to the principal's office, where Cooper Smith is whipped much to this teacher's pleasure.
Take the position, boy.
He drops the book in her trash can, where she finds it and becomes fascinated by it, while Cooper Smith is out tending to the school's pig farm, because every high society private Catholic military academy needs a pig farm. Bubba and his cohorts sabotage his school project, causing him to assume they've taken the book as well, so he sets off to the skating rink to confront them, showing balls that seem pretty uncharacteristic. In his backtracking to find it, he asks the teacher and she straight up lies. She's really digging this book. He uses what he remembers to try and find some info, but is cut short.
That was the bell, Private.
Oh no, spooky. He later hijacks the computer and takes it down to the church dungeon from earlier and gets a little more privacy. He starts scouring the tomes there, putting them into the computer, gathering the requirements for a black mass, and gets to work. The only thing that seems to be missing is a consecrated host to defile.
Defiled host? Shoot. Gotta have it.
Ah well, maybe next time. Better go eat dinner. Late as usual, the cook takes pity and cooks him a nice steak dinner, and even gives him a puppy. The runt of the litter, something Cooper can relate to. Now that's what I call a score. He names the cute pupper Fred. Cooper Smith finally has someone he can bond with and... wait, I don't like where this is going. He goes on with the ritual and starts hearing spooky groans. Seeking them out, he's attacked by strange men in robes and animal masks, and is knocked out cold. They turn out to be his nemesis Bubba and his henchmen. They leave before he wakes though, and he assumes his ritual worked.
All fucking out.
Still missing that host though. While getting something off the top shelf, he makes a racket that wakes the old drunk janitor that lives in the church dungeon. He discovers Cooper Smith's secret lair, threatens to kill Fred the Puppers, and is about to rape our hero. But the evil Esteban-possessed computer kicks on. The janitor is stopped in his tracks, and his head is twisted 180 degrees. Hearing whispers, Cooper Smith finds a hidden room full of scary skeletons and the tomb of Esteban himself. We finally check in with the sadistic teacher from before who stole Cooper Smith's book. As she goes to take a shower, because you can't not have gratuitous boobs, we see that the pigs seem to be under the influence of Esteban and they attack, ripping her to shreds in the bathtub as the book dematerializes. Meanwhile, the rest of the school is attending the random beauty pageant to vote for the next Miss Heavy Artillery, as Cooper Smith stashes the janitor's body. His friend from before, Kowalski, drags him to the pageant, while he awkwardly approaches one of the pageant's losers and starts spitting game, and honestly she seems pretty smitten. In come the bullies, who pants him, killing his chances with the girl and getting him removed from the big game in one foul swoop. They then steal the girl and head to the church dungeon to party. Seemingly overtaken by the satanic aura, Bubba and his minions become bloodthirsty and decide, well, I'm gonna brush over this part because I don't like it any more than you do. So let's just say Fred the Puppers here was taken to a nice farm. All for nothing though, since midway through the frenzy, the possessed computer finally decides to specify the host must be human. Good going, computer. Also, Cooper Smith discovers that little Fred Pup has been taken to a farm, and that's the final straw. The principal wanders into Cooper Smith's lair at just the wrong time. Young Stanley Cooper Smith has had enough, and he finally gets the message and tosses the principal up to the ceiling, impaling him on this cool, dungeony, hangy ceiling spike thing, and drinks his blood from a goblet, finally completing the ritual. It also just so happens that everyone who's been shitty to him this whole time has gathered upstairs to talk about the big game. As the Reverend gives a pep talk, the Christ figure behind him begins to pulsate and bleed, and then launches one of its stigmatic spikes through his forehead. The rest try to flee, only to find that they're locked in, as Cooper Smith finally becomes fully possessed by the spirit of Esteban. He gets a momentary superimposed demonic pig face and thrusts his cool sword in the air, causing an explosion, setting one guy on fire as Cooper Smith rises from the flames all badass-like. He psychically grabs this dude, levitating towards him and splitting his head in twain. He summons the pigs also, who are now his minions, and they corner this guy as he commands them to rip them apart. One pig splits off and chases Bubba into a room, busting through the door and grabbing him by the shoulder. He gets away though and flees into the dungeon. Back upstairs, as this guy crawls on his hands and knees and takes in the carnage, Cooper Smith catches him with his mind powers and straight up decapitates him. Also on his hands and knees, the coach tries to hide. But you can't hide from Cooper Smith. He emerges from the fog and beheads him too. As the pigs corner the last of the remaining secondary bullies in an air vent and devour them, leaving only a hand. With only Bubba left and being chased through the dungeon, the reanimated corpse of the janitor rises, reaches into his chest, and rips out his still-beating heart as the crucifix upstairs falls and bursts into flames. We end on a message, informing us that Cooper Smith was found catatonic, everyone assuming he was the sole survivor and not the exactor of revenge, and they place him in an asylum. But little do they know, he's in the computer now, like the Lawnmower Man, like Esteban, waiting for his sequel. One that would never come. Kind of a shame, too. I would watch that sequel. But alas, the world was never ready for this kind of cinema. A revenge tale about a tortured young boy who gains powers through an old satanic wizard templar to exact much-deserved vengeance might never reach anything beyond cult status.